Now let's talk about the determinants of the supply curve and which of these determinants can shift the curve. Well, as before, price is a determinant of the supply curve, but because we chose to graph it, whenever I choose the price, I'm going to move along the curve. I'm not going to shift the curve. Now, regarding the other determinants, we have 4 here: input prices, technology, number of sellers, and expectations. Input prices and technology, those are cost issues. In fact, whenever input prices go down or technology improves, the supply curve is going to shift if there's a reduction in input prices or an improvement in technology. The supply curve is going to shift to the right. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because for each hypothetical price, let's say that this is the price here, and let's say that I wanted to supply 15. However, let's consider an example. Let's say you are a firm that supplies pizzas. And let's say that the price of the cheese that you used to make pizza suddenly dropped by 90%. Cheese became very cheap. What would you do? For each hypothetical price, now you're willing to supply more pizzas, say 20. Because now it became so cheap to make them, for a given price, you are willing to devote your time to make more of them. If price were 5, instead of, 7, you are now willing to supply 13. And here's your new supply curve. It's a new supply curve. It shifted to the right. When you were talking about technology, it's similar. Let's say, still in the pizza example, scientists invented an oven that you can bake pizzas without consuming almost no electricity. Again, the production of pizza will be much cheaper. Therefore, for each hypothetical price, you'll be willing to supply more pizzas. So, both these determinants, input prices and technology, they are cost related. Anything that reduces costs would shift the supply curve to the right. For instance, a reduction in taxes, that will increase the supply curve. Or government subsidies that would shift the supply curve to the right. And the other determinants listed here are the number of sellers and expectations. Let's talk about the number of sellers. The number of sellers effect is actually similar to the number of buyers effect when you are studying the demand curve. Now think about it. Let's say instead of 5 coffee shops that you have in Murray, lots of businessmen decided to open coffee shops, and now we have 20 coffee shops in Murray. So now for each hypothetical price, we have, let's say instead of 10, again 15. Remember, how do we go from the individual supply to the market supply? We add up the individual supplies. So now we have more individual supplies to add up. That's why the supply curve shifts to the right. And the final determinant is expectations. Now, a typical example of expectations will be the following. Let's say you own a gas station and you have the expectation that the price of the gasoline is going to go up tomorrow. So let's say you think price of your product, not of the input, but of your product, will increase tomorrow. Now what would you do? You think, well, instead of selling all the gasoline today, I'm gonna wait until the prices go up tomorrow and then I'm gonna sell the gasoline. So basically, if you think that the price of your product is gonna go up tomorrow, that shift the supply curve to the left. Why? Because for each hypothetical price, instead of 10, you only want to sell 5 units. Why? Because you want to save some units to sell tomorrow when the price will be better. Again, you want to sell less today, save some inventory, and sell it tomorrow when the price is going to get better. Okay? Now that's an interesting example here, because look what happened to the price today. Let me draw a more beautiful graph. So, because you thought that the price of the gasoline will increase tomorrow, you shift your supply to the left. But then your equilibrium price today went from here to here. So today the price went up. So that's interesting. Think about it. If you think that the price of the gasoline will go up tomorrow, you try to save inventories from tomorrow and shift your supply curve to the left. That will increase the prices today. That's why in economics we say that expectations are self-realizing. Because if the whole market, if all the suppliers believe that the price is going to go up tomorrow, they go up today. That's the idea. Now, so when the curve shifts to the left, what happened is quantity went down from here to here, and price went up from here to here. So when I shift left, what happens is increase price, reduce quantity. And when I shift the supply curve to the right, you can guess, I'm going to reduce prices and increase quantity. We're going to talk about next what happens when both the supply and the demand curve shift.